Modding in the Fallout community is nothing new. Hell, neither is modding in general. To be able to fix or change anything within a game is amazing, and it's been around since the dawn of time. Modding has created tons of things, some really great and some really bad, but we cannot deny the power that modders are given is practically infinite. And while we've had tons of mods, whether it be bug changes, new weapons, new characters, new anything, these mods have always been at such a very small scale. However, that's not to say there haven't been mods out there that have gone for a huge or bigger, much more grander scale. Mods that really bridge the gap between what we perceive as normal mods and completely new games. These days, the only type of Fallout game that us Fallout fans have been given is 76, and it had a terrible launch. But I will say this, it has definitely improved over the past few years. But the problem with it, though, is that it just doesn't offer that classic Fallout experience in a new location that everyone in the Fallout community is just desperate for. And it really looks like we're not going to get anything like that for the next decade now. And now in comes in the modding community. And there are tons of game-size mods that are coming, or we hope to come, in the later days. Examples like Fallout Miami, a Fallout mod that's meant to take the universe into the setting of the beaches of Miami, Florida. Fallout Cascadia, a Fallout story set in a post-apocalyptic Seattle. Fallout London, you could argue would be the first Fallout game to ever take place outside of America, and Fallout New York City, I think. These mods are really cool, and the Fallout community is really excited to really experience these mods, but we're also very nervous, and there's good reason to that. The key thing you need to know here is that these massive scale mods have never really actually come out, or at least most of them, that is, and it's really unfortunate. The only large-scale mod that I've ever heard of and played was Fallout New California, and I really wasn't impressed. I liked the world design, I loved the character models, and the factions weren't all that bad. But the voice acting was just terrible.
So you're the one Nos told us to be on the lookout for.
Alright, listen, $7.25 an hour. Get off the 360 voice chat and actually properly budget your audio design. Jesus! I mean, the writing was also less than stellar, let's be real. But despite its issues, it wasn't the worst. And this was one of the first ever large-scale mods to come out, so we had to start somewhere, right? Plus, there are worse mods out there. And a perfect example of this is another mod called Fallout: The Frontier. This was the most recent disappointment for us Fallout fans. To us, this was the mod that was meant to do it all. Give us a new Fallout story set in a new world space with its own unique setting, the nuclear winter. I mean, finally, that NCR trooper can get what he asked for, right? Well, not exactly. So when this mod finally came out after 7 years of development, we discovered the ugly truth about the Frontier. Instead of setting a new standard for game-size mods like these, it in fact took a step backwards. With its unoriginal story, its god-awful dialogue, and its injection of modern-day politics in the form of a middle finger to the Enclave, the battle for the Frontier officially began. First, let me talk about the unoriginal story. Picture COD meets Wolfenstein meets Dead Space. In the first hour of the mod, you were forced to play as the NCR outcasts. They for some reason call themselves the New California Republic, yet they left the actual one. You're already starting on a rough stuff here, Frontier. We eventually enter the base of the Frontier NCR, and already things just stop making any sense lore-wise. Like, where did this small group of outcasts get these huge vertebrates? How did they fuel them? The Enclave is the only faction with access to oil, so how the fuck did the NCR manage to fuel these vertebrates? Also the vertebrates in general, what the fuck are these designs? There have only been 2 models of vertebrates and you're telling me they didn't think of picking one of them? This mod promised to be lore friendly, and yet they do everything to break the lore in this mod. Now, when it comes to the story itself, it's crammed to the brim with copy-pasted scenes from other video games.
Come on, door! Why won't you move? We're not getting through this door.
Hey, check this out. This is a two-way mirror. I think I can hear someone on the other side.
Another failed subject. Such a shame. That one really showed promise.
Captain Blazkowicz, sir, come listen to this. Oh, that's him, isn't it?
Come on, guys. Do something. If we don't do anything, we're gonna be crushed to death.
Stay calm. Can't wait to see what his plans are for us then. Just look for a way to stop this.
It is all time.
No more brushes in the next thousand miles away. It's done in a trench somewhere. Fuck around this. That's what matters.
What are you people doing in there?
You have proven to be quite a
resilient specimen. With you, I could do
With you,
great
I
things.
could do great things.
I like the eyes
On this
on
one,
this one.
Don't you forget about him.
I like yours
Like
too.
yours. Not this
Not
one.
this one.
Somebody
it's
broke it already.
great.
It's a shame.
As you were the one who failed my last test subject, you must now serve as a control for the next specimen. But who that next specimen will be, I leave up to you. In your opinion, which one
Which
of these
one
two
of these two
varieties
varieties
best support my
would
research?
best
I'll
support
make
my
matters
research?
All you need to do is look to the
All
one
you need to do is look to the
Go
one
on. Make
you would have me dissect.
your choice.
Go on, Captain, make a choice for me.
But wait! There's more!
I mean, you got the space station from Dead Space covered in neon lights, so therefore it's different. You got the rescue mission from COD, also the capture scene from Modern Warfare. You have the held captive scene from Wolfenstein, etc. Look, it's one thing for a game to reference another or pay homage to, but it's flat out plagiarism here. Next up is the dialogue. Baby, if I could rearrange the alphabet, I'd put you and I together. Apparently that's enough to convince this random woman to sleep with you. Speech 80. Mind you, it would only take a couple hours to get Speech 80, and that's if you're a noob in Fallout. So it's clear to me now that the writers have never actually talked to a female ever in their lives. This dialogue just screams incels and pure degeneracy, especially with this character known only as America. The dummy, thick, red-haired Asian girl who just turned 18. When the director was questioned about this embodiment of jailbait, instead of explaining her character, he immediately stated, "She's 18, guys!" Right out of the blue. Clearly doesn't look 18 judging by her face and her voice, but okay. Also in the mod, you get to manipulate her into thinking no one wants her, and then you can make her your sex slave. Other than that, she serves no purpose. She can be a companion, but her sole purpose was to be enslaved by you. Now look, New California had similar issues, I get that, but not to this questionably legal degree. Whoever the writers were, it's clear to me that they were just a bunch of tone-deaf virgins. They even tried to pin the blame on this one pedo who was a dev. They caught him drawing children in a sort of matter seen as horrendously foul. But just so you know, they wrote this stuff. They programmed it into the game. They tested this bullshit. So it wasn't just one guy. You're not fooling anyone. Finally, the Enclave's treatment within this mod. Why would I want to join a racist, fascist, paramilitary organization that is objectively evil? I shit you not, that is an actual line found within this mod. How hypocritical does the dev team have to be? You're telling me that the Legion isn't fascist? They literally crucify those that disagree with them. They are an army made up entirely of slaves. They are a bunch of imperialistic conquerors. So why is it only okay to side with them but not the Enclave? They were then questioned by the community numerous times, especially in live streams, and they only had this to say.
Also the Enclave. The Enclave are Trump supporters.
Santa Claus. He was in the chimney.
Because joining the Enclave is such a... It's just a power fantasy. There is nothing meaningful in what they do. They are designed as
a fascist power fantasy.
A fascist power fantasy, yes. They are designed as a one-dimensional faction to act as the big bad guys. That's just how it is, and we're not going to provide a playable quest for it.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay, what the fuck does Trump have to do with Fallout? I went into the frontier for a Fallout experience, not a shitty COD replica full of pedalicious fantasies and modern-day political lecturing, you degenerate incels. Overall, this mod was bad, and I merely touched on these issues. I'm not kidding, there are problems with devs harassing people who question their various features online, like this entire group of snake people that like to have sex with the humans. I'm not kidding, look it up. But there are also tons of other examples of cringeworthy dialogue, etc. Just don't play this mod. And don't go out and harass these devs. I mean, the damage has already been done. What makes this worse is this just now makes me weary for the next few Fallout fan mods. I hope Miami can succeed where Frontier and California couldn't. But for now, we all need to remain cautious and skeptical. This is Psycho-Froggy signing off, and God bless the Enclave.